many of us are weary, I have to tell you that I continue with great thanksgiving to hold you up in prayer, even as you hold me in your prayers daily. I hope. A couple things. These flamingos have clearly traveled. They were seen on my lawn in Claremont as well recently. So they're very migrating, so beware. Bob, just a word of profound appreciation for your partnership in ministry, for your steady and gracious presence. We are a very small staff, but we have a mighty spirit, and for that I am thankful. I could say something about teaching Elder Stockel, but that would put me in a very contrary mood, because he will be a loss as a friend, as a colleague, and as a leader in this presbytery. It feels like every time we gather, I'm not even sure what to say anymore. Because the terrain that's national, that's regional, shifts as quickly as every 2 to 3 months. It's not a judgment on it, it's a descriptor of what our reality is. If you'll recall, I believe it was last July that we voted and approved the gracious dismissal policy at the urging of our larger denomination, given the awareness and reality that divisions within our denominational body were alive and present. And at that time, we had said publicly that we do not have congregations who were considering using that policy at that moment, and that was the truth and reality at that time. We instead had 4 churches who had indicated their desire to move into San Diego Presbytery, should the way be clear. The General Assembly, at its meeting in July and June, July, will be considering the report of the Mid-Council Administrative Commission, which includes the creation of experimental entities that would mean that presbyteries could, in theory, be formed as congregations that would see themselves as like-minded, theologically, with a common missional goal together. And it's an experimental possibility, and that's before the General Assembly. At our very last meeting, I believe, January, we announced that there was creation of a new Reformed denomination known as the Evangelical Covenantal Order of Presbyterians, that has been birthed by PCUSA leaders who believed they wanted and needed an alternative to the direction of the PCUSA. There is an effort also to consider the creation of a union presbytery, which would mean a presbytery that would be PCUSA with the Evangelical Covenantal Order of Presbyterians. Santa Barbara Presbytery is leading the effort on that. Several weeks ago, one of our congregations activated the gracious dismissal policy. Their leadership has prayerfully deemed that the choice that provides them, I think, the most peace and integrity moving forward is to leave the PCUSA for the new denomination. As is our commitment, according to our gracious dismissal policy, the Committee on Ministry team has proposed the names of those who will serve on the Presbytery Evaluation Team. Those names will now be confirmed by Council at its next meeting. That team will walk with a team, a comparable team, made up of the leadership of that congregation. And in the interest of full transparency, you need to know that there are 3 other churches also carefully considering this alternative. So now what? This is where we find ourselves. Our futures team will convene for further understanding of all these options and what it means and the complexities of it all. The truth is that what is real today, in 4 months, may be very different. So we are in that kind of a time frame. We will have pastoral roundtables so the pastors of congregations can have a place to talk to one another candidly about how they might be feeling, about the hopes, about betrayal, about vision, about possibilities, about sadness, about grief, for allowing for those conversations. We will continue our conversation with other presbyteries about creative models of doing ministry in this region. We will continue to partner within our congregations for Living Waters, bring on the golf tournament on Monday. We will continue to encourage each of you as leaders of our churches to consider ways that you can use the $2,000 for your leadership equipping. This is a moment where we need to have strong, thoughtful, centered leadership, a people of faith who are emotionally and mentally equally healthy and present. Our strategic team will begin its work. Most importantly, we will continue to be about an affirmation of the mission and ministry of this presbytery. We will continue to be and affirm the ministry within this region of this presbytery. But we have to be in that together. Many of you are doing such wonderful ministries, and we will continue to work across the theological divide. Until, as I said some years ago, until that day that one of our churches, we escort them out the door at their request, we will do so looking at them, praying for one another in the midst of our tears, in the midst of our sadness, and yes, even in the midst of our anger and frustration. Because we will need to be a model for others. The world will be watching, and I believe that our behavior and how we do this will matter. I've kind of called this, again, a wilderness season. And I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, because this isn't all bad news. It's about a new day. And new days sometimes come after what feels like deep, dark nights. I call it a wilderness mostly because the road is unknown and greatly unmarked. So we're going to require your prayers, your patience, and confidence in the team that gets formed from both sides of this conversation. So my prayer is that we will not easily fall prey into the temptations of the wilderness, that we will not easily be pointing fingers at one another. You know, we're allowed for a few minutes, but that does not define us. That we will not easily fall into the temptation of romanticizing a past that was probably romanticizing another past. You and I have been placed here. Lord knows we have to believe that God's Spirit will prompt us forward. The one thing about the wilderness that I have learned and I cherish deeply, it is not a place we go to die. It is not. It is a place from which you and I will come out with a deeper sense of call, with a deeper sense of preparedness, and a deeper sense of clarity about where God is calling us, what that new place of promise and hope will be like. So it is with that hope that God is with us. I hear these words constantly recently: do not be afraid, for I am with you always. We will need each of you to take this journey, to make this journey.